Hello and welcome to Wonder Girl Tarot. This is your reading for the week of September 7th through the 13th, 2020. It's a general reading for anyone who feels called to watch the video, as well as for my returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for being here, and many apologies if you watch me regularly for missing the video last week. But I'm back now, and I hope to be in the foreseeable future every Sunday. So I've shuffled the deck and drawn 3 cards. The first is going to represent Monday and Tuesday, the second Wednesday and Thursday, and the third Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But these may be energies that come and go throughout the week and aren't restricted to those particular days. It can also be themes that are playing out on a larger scale, so you could recognize them already present in your life. I've also drawn a card from the Wildwood Tarot, I'll read the messages at the end of the reading from the book to act as an added bit of guidance and advice. Before I turn over the cards, as I do each week, I will be reading a poem. And this week, I'm reading one by Thich Nhat Hanh called Please Call Me by My True Names. Do not say that I'll depart tomorrow. Even today, I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving. To be a bud on a spring branch. To be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest. To be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower. To be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I am still arriving in order to laugh and to cry. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that are alive. I am the mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river, and I am the bird that swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I am the frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond, and I am also the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, and my legs as thin as bamboo sticks, and I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo, with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people, dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up and open the door of my heart, the door of compassion. It's such a beautiful poem, and it makes me think of a favorite quote of mine from the Upanishads, that says, truly the man who can see all creatures in himself in all creatures, knows no sorrow. So perhaps it will relate to the cards, or perhaps it's just an added message, but we'll turn it over and see what we have. So for Monday and Tuesday, we have the Magician. For Wednesday and Thursday, we have the 4 of Cups. And for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse. And for under the deck, this is kind of like an underlying energy, we have the King of Rods in the reverse, like the King of Wands. So the card that we begin the week with, the Magician, is the first card in the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana marks the Fool's journey, so you begin at 0 with the Fool, which is all about a childlike innocence and wanting to just leap into things and learn and experience as much as possible. And when the Fool meets the Magician, it's like you're learning how to, as the Fool, you're learning how to affect the world around you. So the Magician has all of the building blocks of the tarot, which is like the building blocks of our experience, on the table in front of him. The sword represents thought and your mental life, and the Ace of Pentacles represents your tangible physical world, and the Cup represents emotions and feelings, and the Wand represents inspiration, creativity, passion, that sort of thing. And so the Magician is able to use all of these different tools that he has and to create what he envisions. So this is a very dynamic way to begin the week, and very empowered. And the thing that's coming to mind is just in terms of the poem I just read, that it reminds me of realizing that you are all things in the world. So all of those qualities you see in other people, both good and bad, are also reflections of the qualities that you have within yourself. And that's how you're even able to recognize them, is because you know what it is from your own experience. Like the expression you can sometimes, you might say to people when you're like being kind of annoying, like, it takes one to know one, or something like that. So that's true of both good and bad qualities. And it kind of means that you're able to become whatever you see. You're able to create whatever you imagine, and to form yourself into the person you want to be, to form your reality into the reality that you want, as long as you believe it. But you may experience this as challenging, because the underlying energy is the King of Rods in the reverse. So in the upright, the King of Rods is very like the Magician. He's the highest of the suit of wands, which are about inspiration, creativity, and passion. So in the upright, this is a very dynamic person, a powerful person, somebody who, like an entrepreneur, or, somebody who's very suave and savvy and confident, and believes that they can have what they want, and somebody who channels their oomph and inner drive into creating things, into shaping their life. In the reverse, this can be not quite feeling your power, or not knowing where to direct your energy. That passion can go into kind of negative outlets, like easily losing your temper, getting really jealous, or getting angry and like having tantrums, throwing things. It's like, it can be really negative. It can be, or it can just be not feeling like you have the power to shape your world. So it's kind of like you begin the week with this possibility to create and manifest things in your real world. You have all the tools, but what you're coming up against is your sense that maybe you don't have all the tools, or maybe you haven't been feeling very well, something like that. That's kind of like the underlying feeling. And maybe you've been in kind of like a depression, because the King of Rods is somebody who's very dynamic and active. In the reverse, it could be like that energy, like draining out. Like when you think, you open your eyes in the morning and it's a new day and you're like all ready to go, and then the thought comes like, what's the point of brushing my teeth or whatever. The reason I'm thinking that also is that we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is a card about emotional apathy. You can see there's these 3 cups in front of this person, and then there's a 4th cup that's being held out to them by like a divine hand. So there's some possibility, some new potential, probably in the realm of feelings and emotions. It can be like a love offer or an inspiration of something, some creative project. But you may not recognize it at first, or you may have to struggle against feelings of apathy or doubt, ennui. And it can be that, like, I'm getting this sense there are like 2 currents, an upper current, sorry, we're jiggling the camera, an upper current and a lower current. So underneath, you've got flowing like this momentum of something that you've had going on in your life, which is one of fatigue and apathy and depression or uncertainty or bad emotional patterns or something like that. And then you've got this new current that's coming in, that's like it's like up here, like with the Magician and with this Ace of Cups that's being offered, which is for a new start, for some new inspiration, some new beginning, the possibility of a new life. And I feel like you've got these competing forces within you this week, and potentially in your outer world as well. Like you may experience some lucky breaks, some good fortune, and at the same time you may be encountering other obstacles or other challenges, or a lot of things that are still the same and that you find very dispiriting. So there's this kind of internal struggle going on, and maybe an external struggle as well of different forces. And then you end the week with the Page of Cups in the reverse. So when a card is in the reverse, it often means it's the opposite of the normal meaning, or that the energy of that is blocked in some way. So in the upright, this is a card that's about emotional offer. Cups are emotions, an inspiration, a sweet message. The pages are often messengers, so like a nice email, phone call, voicemail. Some young person, the pages can be young people like teenagers or children in your life who's being very sweet. Or perhaps it's the beginning of something that's still quite new. So an artistic project that's in its beginning stages, a love affair that's just starting out. It's still quite fragile, and it's got a lot of potential, but it hasn't got, it's not grounded yet. It's just like a bud that could flower into something. It can be a bit if it's like an emotional, like a love offer, it could be quite clumsy or something like that. If it's an artistic inspiration, it could be something that's going to be quite successful, but it needs a lot of honing and refinement before it becomes the thing it's going to be. So in the reverse, it could be that you have some really great idea, but you don't recognize it as such because it needs a lot of refinement still, so you don't see its worth right away. Or maybe like you meet somebody that you could fall in love with, but at first you don't really like them. You don't realize how wonderful they are initially. Or and I'm just thinking that the Page of Cups is kind of like this cup that's being held out and that you might not see, because the Four of Cups is all about not seeing some new potential, not recognizing the value of something. Hence the fact that the Page of Cups is in the reverse. If this is a person you're dealing with, it can be a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, usually a Pisces, or a young person or child in your life who's maybe going through a hard time, who's emotionally out of sorts, or you yourself may be feeling a bit out of sorts emotionally, having trouble regulating your emotions, feeling a bit reactive or a bit vulnerable. It can also be like that the cups are emotions that they start spilling out. So the Four of Cups can be being an emotional neutral, kind of not feeling anything, feeling a bit apathetic, and perhaps that apathy breaks, and but that leads to feeling a bit like touchy or overly sensitive, something like that. So it's an interesting week. It seems like there's a lot of potential, but there's also a lot of like mixed energy going on. And for added bit of advice and guidance, sorry if you can hear background noise, my family's just returning home. But yeah, so we have the Page of Bows, which is they call the Stoat, and this is like the Page of Rods in the regular tarot. And I'll see what the book has to say. So, with a fierce hunting instinct and its ability to live underground, combined with the changing color of its fur from white to red and its black tail, the three sacred colors of the ancient world, the Stoat has strong mystical links to the sovereignty of the land. Often you are seen as an emissary, and as such, your gifts are widely recognized and honored. Your ability to perceive the truth in almost any matter is vastly helpful, and your freedom of spirit marks you out as an original and unique personality. So I think that's the potential that you have this week, is to come more into yourself, into your originality. And this page belongs to the same suit as the King of Rods, so fire, inspiration, creativity, and it's also a page like the Page of Cups, and they have a few key words: extraordinariness, strange tidings, a free spirit, dreams and visions, the appearance of a stranger. So yeah, perhaps you'll meet somebody new, or you'll have some kind of strange new idea, dream, vision, that you have the potential to form into something tangible in your life. It seems really interesting. Let me know if this resonates or makes sense in your life, or if something exciting happens. Maybe you won't recognize it right at first, so you could watch the video again at the end of the week and see if it makes sense. But yeah, I hope this is a great week for you. Thanks so much for watching, and take very good care. I'll be back with a video like this next Sunday. Until then, bye-bye.